On May 1st, 305 CE, the most powerful man walks away. Diocletian stepped down voluntarily after ruling the Roman Empire for more than 2 full decades. No Roman emperor had ever abdicated power before this moment. The precedent was unprecedented and dangerous. His decision triggers civil war that lasts 6 years across the entire empire. The man who created the Tetrarchy system to stabilize Rome destroyed that system by choosing to retire. Rome did not fracture from outside invasion first. The internal succession mechanism collapsed from within the palace. History teaches that Rome fell from barbarian invasion, widespread plague, and the slow decay of institutions. These external collapse narratives dominate school curricula and fill the popular history books read across the world. But the actual destabilization of the late Roman Empire came from within the imperial succession system itself. It came from the succession system that Diocletian personally designed and created. Diocletian designed the Tetrarchy, a system of 4 emperors ruling simultaneously to prevent civil war entirely. 2 Augusti as senior rulers, 2 Caesars as junior rulers and future successors. This rotation would ensure orderly succession without constant civil war and chaos. In theory, it was perfect. In practice, it required absolute obedience to the plan. Rome's enormous size made it impossible for one man to rule from one capital effectively. Diocletian was a military man who understood power through military administrative systems. His division of the empire into 4 administrative zones was systemically elegant and logical. Each zone would have its own emperor, army, administration, and treasury structure. In 284 CE, Diocletian inherited an empire in complete collapse and chaos. 50 years of constant civil war has produced 50 different claimants to imperial throne. Plague swept through Roman provinces with devastating force, killing millions of citizens across all territories systematically. Barbarians pressed on every frontier. Germanic tribes, Goths, and Persians all tested Roman frontier defenses. The imperial currency had collapsed completely under pressure. Prices spiraled out of control, making trade nearly impossible. The entire empire seems to be dissolving into chaos, disorder, and complete governmental failure. Diocletian recognizes that the empire cannot be governed by a single man from one place. He creates the most innovative governmental system that Rome has ever attempted or designed. 4 zones replaced the unitary empire. Britannia, Gaul, Africa, and the eastern provinces each had their own ruler. 2 senior emperors, called Augusti, governed the western and eastern halves of the empire. 2 junior emperors, called Caesars, serve beneath them and will eventually be promoted upward. New Caesars would be selected to fill vacancies, creating an orderly rotation of imperial power. On May 1st, 305 CE, Diocletian forces Maximian to abdicate immediately. Both men stepped down on the exact same day, demonstrating their commitment to the system. The 2 Caesars were immediately promoted to full Augustus rank. Galerius took the east, Constantius the west. 2 new Caesar positions must now be filled by appointment from the senior emperors themselves. Galerius, the new Eastern Augustus, made the new Caesar appointments himself, selecting his own loyal military commanders. Severus too is appointed Caesar for the Western Empire under Constantius as Augustus' supervisor. Maximinus Daza is appointed Caesar for the Eastern Empire under Galerius as Augustus' supervisor. Both men are trusted generals and close friends of Galerius, loyal to him personally and absolutely. But these appointments violate the expectations of Constantine and Maxentius, the deposed emperor's sons. Blood relationship to previous emperors did not guarantee succession or legitimacy under the Tetrarchy system. Loyalty to Galerius and to the system mattered far more than family connections or claims. For the sons of deposed emperors, this was the most profound betrayal of all imperial expectations. Within 1 year, Constantius dies suddenly, and Constantine is proclaimed emperor by his troops. The soldiers follow Constantine because he is Constantius's son and he is present with the troops. Maximian, forced into retirement, comes out of retirement and reclaims imperial power and authority. Maximian proclaims his son Maxentius as co-emperor in the Western Empire immediately afterward. Suddenly, 6 men simultaneously claim to be the legitimate emperor of all Roman territories completely. The Tetrarchy system has collapsed completely into the very chaos it was designed to prevent immediately. Severus too marches against Maxentius and is defeated, captured, and executed by military forces. Galerius declares himself the supreme ruler above all others in the entire Roman Empire system. Maximinus Daza in the east also declares himself Augustus and rejects Galerius's supreme authority. Constantine in Britain asserts his right to rule the Western Empire and challenges Galerius directly. From 306 to 312 CE, civil war consumes the entire empire constantly. Historian Stephen Williams documented the succession crisis in Diocletian and the Roman recovery extensively. A.H.M. Jones provided comprehensive analysis in the later Roman Empire of these breakdown mechanisms completely. Both Williams and Jones agree that Diocletian's abdication triggered a succession mechanism beyond anyone's control. Galerius's choice to appoint his own loyalists alienated Constantine and Maxentius irreversibly and completely. The sons of deposed emperors had claims that could not be ignored or suppressed by bureaucratic decree. Military loyalty could not be transferred through bureaucratic appointment of commanders unknown to the troops. Blood relationship and proximity to troops proved stronger than rational succession planning could ever be. Diocletian retired to his palace in Split, in what is now the nation of Croatia entirely. He refused all appeals and entreaties to return to power or intervene in imperial conflicts whatsoever. When Galerius himself begged him to resume the purple and return to power, Diocletian refused completely. Diocletian allegedly said he would refuse even if the empire's security depended entirely upon his return. He spent his final years growing cabbages in his retirement palace, watching everything collapse slowly. History textbooks frame Rome's fall as external, caused by barbarians and plague and economic decay. The internal succession mechanism that Diocletian designed and broke is rarely named as the actual cause. Diocletian's Tetrarchy system was rational, carefully planned, and logically constructed in every documented detail. In pure theory, the Tetrarchy should have worked perfectly and prevented exactly the chaos unleashed. But human nature, family loyalty, and military tradition proved stronger than rational bureaucratic systems. Blood relationships and personal loyalty to commanders defeated the carefully planned rotation of imperial succession. Blood relationships and personal loyalty to commanders proved far stronger than Diocletian's rational succession framework. Constantine's troops at Eboracum in Britain acclaimed him emperor the moment his father Constantius died there. Diocletian's careful system had no mechanism to handle soldiers simply choosing their own emperor at will. The empire paid the terrible price for his system's internal contradictions and fundamental design flaw. Civil war ravaged Rome from 306 CE through 312 CE continuously. Constantine defeated Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge in 312 CE decisively. Constantine's victory established him as sole Western emperor and reshaped Rome's political and religious nature forever. Today, Diocletian's palace in Split stands as a monument to his ambition, power, and ultimate failure. Tourists walk through the corridors of his palace, admiring the architecture and ancient Roman engineering. Few visitors understand what happened within these walls or why this palace was built and occupied. Within these ancient walls, a man who had saved Rome grew vegetables while his empire fell apart. The profound irony remains that Diocletian restored Rome through military genius and administrative innovation entirely. He defeated barbarians, stabilized currency, reformed military structures, and rebuilt Roman governance completely and thoroughly. But the system he created to ensure stability became the mechanism of dissolution and internal fracture. The Tetrarchy's requirement that power rotate among appointed officials directly clashed with Roman military tradition entirely. Ancient Roman principle that military loyalty and family-determined succession could not coexist with bureaucratic systems. One force had to destroy the other. Constantine's victory ensured that blood and military loyalty would prevail decisively. The turning point in Rome's internal stability came on May 1, 305 CE, when Diocletian retired. Diocletian's abdication, meant to ensure stability, became the mechanism through which the empire's internal fracture began.